in preparing to preach, one, you've got to prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Sometimes we work much harder at preparing the message than we do preparing ourselves. So you've got to prepare yourself. And it's back to that holiness and humility and seeking the face of God, his anointing, his unction. That's, and if I don't have his anointing, I'm just, what am I? It might be a little clever speaker, but I want the anointing of God. So prayer is vital. Prayer is vital. Seeking the face of God is vital. And then, of course, preparing. I work hard to carry at that. Crafting, shaping, distilling. How am I going to explain sin? How am I going to explain the cross? How am I going to explain coming to Christ? How am I going to do the appeal? So I'm constantly trying to sharpen and constantly trying to shape the message. And I'm a bit like a squirrel. I'm constantly collecting all the time. I'm thinking now about how I'm going to preach the gospel at Christmas this year, as well as what am I going to preach on Sunday morning at the service we're having. But I'm already thinking of that now. I'm thinking of Christmas now. I'm even crafting. I've already opened a file for Christmas 2025. And I'm jotting notelets and ideas and new things, new ways of preaching the gospel at Christmas. I'm constantly thinking now about how am I going to preach the gospel on Easter Day. I'm preaching at a massive place on Easter Day. I'm thinking about that now. I'm thinking, how am I going to preach on Mother's Day and Father's Day? So I'm thinking ahead all the time. Okay, what is the gospel? Okay, John 3:16 sums up the essence of the gospel. For God so loved the world, he gave his only Son, so whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Okay, what does that one verse say? It's an invitation. That's what it is. And if you're anything like me, I'm sure you appreciate invitations. Even if you can't go, wasn't it nice they invited me? Yeah? But when you get an invitation, you want to know who's it from, who is it to, what is it about? Okay, well, who's the invitation from? For God. The invitation is from God, delivered to us in Jesus. Who is it to? For God so loved the world. Every single one of us. What is it about? Christianity is about three things. Three things. Everything else in the Bible is commentary and application of these three things. 1, forgiveness from the past. 2, new life here today. 3, a hope for the future. That's it. I could do that message for you. I could give you a 5-minute version, a 10-minute version, a 15-minute version, a 30-minute version, a 45-minute version, depending on where I am and what the context is and whatever. If I'm in a prison and I've only got 10 minutes, forgiveness from the past, new life here today, hope for the future. If I'm in a different setting, I'll explain it in different ways, using different analogies, but that is what we've got to be preaching. Forgiveness from the past, new life here today, and a hope for the future. Those three things, make sure they're in your messages. And of course, when you're explaining forgiveness, you've got to explain sin, and you've got to explain the cross. But you want to explain it without jargon, and that's the important thing. The heart of the human problem is the problem of the human heart. That's the problem, and you can use the word sin, but you have to explain it. So let's not use jargon, let's use words, but let's explain them. Always unpack the cross. And always call people to Christ. Always give people an opportunity to receive Jesus. Always do that.
How do you make the appeal?
Well, I do the appeal in so many different ways. So many different ways. Look, I might say, okay, I'm going to pray a prayer now. Wherever you are, pray the prayer. Pray this prayer. And then I'll say a prayer for them. And what I'm doing more and more and more now, let's say we're in a big meeting or small meeting or whatever, I'll say, pray this prayer. And then at the end of the meeting, if you prayed that prayer, stay in your seat. But everyone else, please leave. And then someone will come to you. And we have found hundreds and hundreds of people, thousands, are staying in their seats because they've received Christ. Other times, I do public appeals. You know, get up out of your seat, come to the front. You know, there was one Easter day when, this is going back a few years, and I was thinking, oh, how shall I do it? How shall I do the appeal? How shall I do the appeal? And I just had the idea of trying to buy a nail, a long nail, the kind of long nail that would put two beams together. So I go to this hardware shop and I said, look, I'm looking for some long nails that would put two wooden beams together. Have you got any? He goes, oh yeah, I think I have. He goes to the back, he brings out this big box of these really long nails. And I said, how many have you got? And he pours them all out. He's got 53 nails. I said, I'll buy all 53. So I buy the 53, I go and buy some Coca-Cola, soak them in Coca-Cola so they all got cleaned up. And then I go to this church on Easter Day with 53 nails. And then I preach the gospel. And then I said, if you've received Jesus for the first time today, I will be standing here. And I want you to come here and I will give you a nail to remember today. And then the pastor will introduce you to someone who's going to pray with you. So they come out, nail, nail, nail. I'm giving out nails, nails, nails. 40 nails, yeah, 45 nails, 46 nails, 47 nails. And then it kind of stops. But I'm waiting there. And then Christians are coming up to me to talk to me. And I say, buzz off. Yeah? I'm doing the work of an obstetrician here. You know, don't come and talk to me about silly things. You know, go away. And I'm waiting, and then somebody, oh, J.John, do you want coffee? I don't want coffee. No, I'm waiting. Oh, no, but I think everyone's gone. I said, no, 47, 48, 49, 50, got 3 nails left. They're now going, I think we'll wrap up now. I said, no, I'm not wrapping up. Even the pastor said, I think we'll wrap up. I said, well, you can go home. I'm not going home. I'm waiting. It's now, it looks like there's nobody there. 51, 52, 1 nail. Come on, J.John, let's go. I said, no, I'm not going. I've got 1 nail left. And a man who left the meeting, he was driving home, he came back, came in and said, that's my nail.